What is going on YouTube? Hannah back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we are going to be looking at XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, as well as the S&P 500. Lots of things we do have to talk about in today's episode. First off, we're looking at the S&P 500, which I'm so relieved and excited that we actually managed to bounce off yesterday the bottom support and swing back to the upside. This is very important for us to see the S&P 500 maybe regaining its balance and maybe seeing prices kind of alleviate and swing back to the upside. I'm not talking about an all-time high, but I'm talking about markets slowly consolidating back up. And fingers crossed that happens, because if it does, that's a reference that other cryptocurrencies are going to be doing the same thing. Now, we did put out a small short position on XRP yesterday with the the off chance that we would swing up. The reason we put that position out, which obviously closed in the negative, so that wasn't the best trade we've made, but the reason we thought that was because we've been so flatlined out here on the oversold line. We had expected to see a small recovery back up, which I do believe is going to come soon for XRP, but we did see that swing back to the downside, which even set us even lower into the oversold territory. So, sometimes we win some, sometimes we lose some. For those not familiar, Patreon is where we post all of our cryptocurrency trades for XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, the S&P 500. We have conversations on it. It's also where we talk about other cryptocurrency and trades that we don't actually post here on the channel. So if you guys want more information and you're hungry to learn more, definitely make sure to check out our Patreon, which I've linked in the description down below. Not only that, you might hear me saying that's because my friend and I both run that, because it is a very time-sensitive process, and having two people watching it and working on it is much better than having just me, because I do get very busy. Now, in regards to these cryptocurrencies, we're talking about the fact that XRP did fall, hitting its bottom support, but we're also talking about the fact that we could and probably are going to be heading lower before we see that reversal back up. And I'm not sure if this is going to influence the S&P 500, which as of right this second just opened to the downside. So there's a good chance that maybe we start to play out and fall even lower back down to that bottom support, which would be very much so synonymous with the other cryptocurrencies, which also have a little bit of area left to cover. You can see here, I do strongly believe the lowest point we'll see within XRP is 59 cents. That's about 3 cents off from where we currently are. That would be the bottom to me. Ethereum, I believe, is going to continue to pull down within its, descending fractal here, trade sideways, and then hopefully we'll see that recovery. Bitcoin as well is in a descending fractal, which clearly is having a very tough time with this, support resistance level right here. But because we're trading outside of this uptrend here, we have not been able to break through this resistance level here. There's a chance we might see a dip as well within the markets here. But we'll talk about all this later on in today's video. Definitely make sure to check out our Patreon down in the description below. With that being said, make sure to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and let's dive into today's episode. So guys, if you haven't noticed, I did get a haircut. Believe it or not, I did it myself. I don't know if you've noticed, but with, inflation and everything like that, haircut prices have actually managed to swing up even more. They used to be, $15, then $20. Like, how much do you guys pay for a haircut? In Florida right now, the barbers are charging $30+ $30 plus a tip. So I'm basically spending like $35 to $38 a haircut, which is a lot of money. And they say they want it every 2 weeks, which is a lot of money to be spending on haircuts. So I was like, screw it, I'll just do it myself here. And I think I took way too much off the sides, but it is my first time. So if you're seeing that difference and you're wondering why my head kind of looks like this, that's why, but it'll grow back soon and we'll go from there. But I thought it would be funny to tell you guys and mention it. But otherwise, diving into the technical analysis here, top 10 cryptocurrencies look okay. We're having a small short-term recovery here. You could see top 10 cryptocurrencies, everything is kind of sliding down lower and lower and lower, but I don't think we look bad. I think every cryptocurrency is going to continue to dip lower, and we might recover slightly because we're oversold on the 4-hour charts here, but I do believe we do have a point of where rock bottom is. I think we've all kind of discovered and figured out and pretty much confirmed where bottom would be on these cryptocurrencies here. And then, we should hopefully rebound off those levels here. If we break through it, I would be astonished, because that means that the S&P 500 is going to tank. It means that cryptocurrency is going to tank. It means Bitcoin's going to fall to $30,000. Ethereum's going to go to like $2,000, and we're going to see XRP fall to like 30 cents. So there's going to be big drops if this support at 59 cents on XRP is broken. Ideally, I don't believe that's going to happen, but it is something we have to spend some time looking at. Now, like I said before, we did have a Patreon trade, very, very, very moderate to aggressive trading on like 4-hour charts here that we were expecting to see a smaller recovery. It didn't happen just yet. We are starting to dip lower. You can see the 4-hour and the daily charts are both oversold, and I do believe we're going to see that recovery soon, but we might be heading down lower first. Target 59 cents before we see a run to the upside here. Now, the reason I believe that this bottom is where our support is you can see here, I know it's a little bit harder to tell in the daily charts, but there is pretty much, if you just go to the past here, back on in the beginning, January of 2022, this really marks why I do strongly believe this is bottom. And more so than that, the weekly really outlines why I also believe that. You can see when you jump to the weekly charts here, this is a very strong resistance. Clear resistance here caused a reversal. Clear resistance here caused reversal. Clear resistance here caused reversal to the upside. And then clear resistance here caused a reversal to the upside. So I very much strongly believe that that's rock bottom for the price of XRP. I think by the time we get to that level there, which is very close, very soon, it's going to send us into oversold, not only on the 4-hour, not only on the daily, but the weekly too. You can see we're very close here, trading at about 38 on the relative strength indicator, falling us all the way down to 59 might send us very close to being oversold here. Pretty much maps out the bottom. I'd be shook. I'd be very surprised if we break through this support here, but this is what we're waiting on. As we've talked about in the past, we've had a lot of fun over the past couple of weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, shorting XRP to the downside. We've had a lot of profitable trades. The reason we discussed this was because this major downtrend and hitting the moving average on the weekly charts all was a huge sign of potential swings to the downside here. Major resistance causes correction, resistance, correction, resistance, correction, resistance, implied correction, and that's what happened. So that's why we've had major short opportunities in the past couple of weeks and have made a lot of profit in the past couple of weeks shorting this to the downside here. What we're looking for, and we do have this long-term position open where we do expect to see, and we have expected since closing last week below 70 cents here. The fact that we closed at 69 cents, it said, hey, we broke through that. Every single time in the past, prices break through this moving average, we pull down to this support. It's happened consistently, and it made sense that because we closed below this, there's no shot we're going to head back up, and we do have this expectation of a dump. So because of that, we did have a long-term position from 69 cents swinging down to 59 cents. We've been talking about it almost every day now on the channel here. So what we're looking for now, for those that maybe didn't enter that trade, what I'm looking for in my position moving forward here is I'm waiting to fill out. I'm waiting for us to hit 59 cents. Then we're going to see how we play out, because we're most likely, if not by the end of this weekend, next weekend we'll definitely have an answer, but probably this weekend we'll know if we retest this support here. Not only is it the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, there's a lot of signs of support here that would suggest a bounce like this. That's what we're looking for. Not only would we see a XRP see that bump, we'd see maybe Bitcoin see that bump, but more so the S&P 500 see that bump, which you can already see we're starting to reverse upwards. So it's interesting. I do believe we do have a lower point to move to. I mean, we could see this being the bottom too, but ideally you do come into contact with that. Last time we saw this movement here, we closed exactly where we are now, and then the following week we held that support and we retested that support prior to seeing a run. So it really all depends on how we play out maybe next week or this weekend. But let's say we close, very similar to how we are now here. Next week would open up, and I'd be waiting. I'd probably, put my stop loss a little bit lower in case we do decide to dip lower, but I would have the implied expectation that next week would be the deciding factor, just like this candle here. I'd want to see how this candle plays out. Maybe we dip lower than that, but it depends on how we close next week. And if we close next weekend at like 56 cents, 55 cents, that would suggest, hey, we broke through a massive over a year support. This is since November of 2020 here. This is almost 2 years of support, over a year and a half, 2 years of support. This would imply, hey, we're going to be seeing a major catalyst and a major dump to the downside. However, if we close and reverse and retract the weekly candle next week above this, and we close just like we did here above, it would be an implied buy-in opportunity, and we would buy in with expectations of a run to the upside here. Expectations of a run to the upside here. Not to, cause any FOMO, but I mean, we do have time left. But another thing is we do have this massive descending triangle playing out here, and we do want an answer. So if I was to, let's say, draw on an Elliott wave here, let's do an Elliott wave. Let's do AB. Yeah, that works. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's delete that. So an Elliott wave like this, we start here. We have our A, B, C, D, and E. This would imply that this might be the bottom for XRP. So next week is really the most important part of XRP's history over the past year and a half. All this movement pretty much comes down to how we play out with point E here. If we close above point E, we close above this resistance, this support, sorry, and we stabilize and close above there, there's a very big chance the catalyst would lead to a breakout. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm expecting. So it all comes down to next week. I'm very excited. Obviously, we have to play out the end of this weekend, see how we are. Good chance we'll probably fall down to 58 cents. If not, we'll hold here. And next week, we'll probably see a retest of 58 cents. But that's pretty much it for XRP. But it does impact, the S&P 500. We're having a lot of tough times right now, actually, within the S&P 500. The reason being is the S&P is retesting oversold. We were just oversold, sorry, on the daily. We did see a small recovery here, but we're stuck in a channel here. You can see very similar to the problem we had, a couple of weeks ago. Back in March, early March here, we got stuck in between this. We hit bottom, we hit top, we hit bottom, we hit top, double bottom pattern, then we caused a reversal. We're kind of seeing that pattern play out right now. We hit the bottom, we've confirmed once again, this is a very strong support. And now we're starting to see prices dip lower. We might see a dip back down. We might see a dip back up. Who knows? This is very similar to a double bottom. We could easily see this movement happen here and then see a run to the upside here. This is a very crucial time for the S&P 500. If we confirm closing below 4,100, the next support we have is all the way down here, closer to this level here, which is also implying that this is about an 18 to 19% drop, which if it breaks below that, is implied that we might have a massive recession, and a massive bear market correction to the downside. So we are playing it safe right now. We are in a very peculiar area for the current S&P 500, and I'd like to see how this plays out. There's a good chance we might continue down and see a pump like this. But if we break through this, and I'm holding off on buying, I have transferred money into my brokerage, but I am getting ready to see how we play out with this before I decide to throw money into it. So very peculiar, very interesting. Same thing applies with Bitcoin at a very peculiar and interesting time point. If it can close above this, we might see prices rally up. If we close below here, prices are going to dump. We're more so leaning towards, consolidation, and then maybe we'll get that answer in the very near future. Same thing applies with Ethereum. It more so seems rejection. We break through this, however, good run, bullish bias run. If we don't and we're trading how we are, we might see a dip and then maybe an implied run. But it's very interesting. We're at this very crucial time point within every crypto, as well as the S&P, that if it doesn't hold, we're going to see a major dump. If it doesn't and we break through it, we're going to see a pretty substantial run. But it's really hit or miss at this point here. We just have to let the markets play out. And once they confirm the direction, there'll be tons of time and opportunity to buy into it and make money off that run. But that's pretty much going to wrap up today's video. Definitely make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.